inside the footprint of the existing chain link fence. And so this is what we're considering as one deterrent that can reduce anybody breaking in and stealing the wiring and disconnecting the solar equipment. So what we're talking specifically with one company, we're negotiating the specific terms, but what they're proposing to install would be a 10-foot fence. There's just wires about every 12 inches. And the way it works, it's a self-contained system. It's solar powered with battery backup, and it's an electric pulse every 1.3 seconds. So if somebody touches it, it's not like a continuous shock, but it's what they call as a safe but memorable shock. So it's, in addition, as if anybody, if that, there's a break in that electrical current, there's an alarm system all backed in there. So like they're going to provide, the company that will install this will provide monitoring, and then our staff will also get notified if there's any kind of instance where it looks like there's something happening with the fence.
Will there be video surveillance there?
We are as a second phase after this. So, as you're aware that we're installing new security cameras around our different sites.
Yep.
And the vendor that we chose, the product that we chose is scalable. And so that would be a phase 2, probably in fiscal year 27. Okay. We would be looking at installing additional security measures and cameras at those lift stations as well. Because with the security system that we have, there's an additional burglar monitoring feature that we could add on top of that. But this is something that we're looking at, that it's there's several sites in Richmond that are using this existing fence. If you go like FedEx, Cresco Rentals, several companies in the area are already using this system to protect their assets and their properties. And so it appears to be working pretty well. And this is something that we want to really just, we want to pilot, see how it works, because there is potential. We have several other remote locations to see if there's an area where we want to expand this product, really just to improve the security of our assets. So really the next steps, and just let you know what our costs are. We would be paying the way that this works is essentially a lease. So we don't purchase the equipment. It would be a company that would install it, and we would pay a monthly, essentially a service fee. And so what we're looking at, it would be a initial three-year contract for both sites, for the Lakeside and for Terra Hills. And so that total cost over the 3-year period would be approximately $180,000. And then, so we're continuing to finalize negotiations with the vendor. Once we've worked out all the contract terms, we would plan to come back to go to the board for approval. So hopefully that would happen in the around January or February timeframe, so that we can get these installed early next year. So with that, I'd like to just answer any questions you may have.
Okay, President Rantila, questions?
I was just curious, as far as monitoring, is it, do they contact the police department surrounding, or sheriff's department and management here, or who would be the point of contact?
Yeah, so they would, their first call would be to, they would be calling our staff, but they would also be calling local law enforcement as well, because they need to also verify what's out there. Is it like, do we need to call? Is it a true alarm where we need to bring law enforcement out there, or is it let's have some people go out there and look at what the situation is?
And what's the cost of the asset that's being protected?
Well, I don't know off the top of my head the exact dollar value of the solar facilities, but as it generates electricity, that's a cost. As long as it's generating electricity, reducing our cost of our bill. So I'll have to go back and look at the exact dollar figure of what this is, but it's over a 20-year time frame. If we have 2 or 3 or 6 months of not producing electricity, that adds up pretty quickly, where we're spending an extra $30,000-$40,000 electricity that we could have been producing on site.
Yeah, I was just curious if we're spending $180,000 to protect a $20,000 asset,
Well, it's definitely costs more than that. And then if we're looking over the long term, this would cover, ensuring that we're continuing to produce electricity at those sites.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I like it.
So what's the next step? Is this going to the board?
Yeah, so
for-
the next step would we be going to the board with the contract approval.
Okay.
We want-
All right, so I guess I need a motion.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion. We approve this item.
Okay, and I'll second. Next item, please.
Thank you, Justin. Item number 3 on the agenda is to receive a presentation on a new easement and an easement that will be vacated related to the Lighton Ranchia project, and recommend the item to the full board for approval if the committee deems appropriate. Madam Clerk, have we received public comments on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to comment on item 3, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comment.
So this morning, we'll get a presentation. We have both Judy, our Planning and Support Services Division Manager, and Armando Hodge, our Associate Engineer. They'll do a presentation around a easement that is associated with an expansion of the casino here in the district.
Okay.
Is he on?
I don't think your mic is on.
No, it's on.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Wanted to give a quick presentation on easement granting and quitclaiming associated with the Lighton Rancheria project. And as many of us are aware, it is associated with the casino that is visible from the I-80 highway. It is accessible via the San Pablo Dam Road exit and is in San Pablo. So here you can see an exhibit that shows a pretty good visual layout of the parcels that will be affected by the project, right? So essentially, the casino is expanding in a way that will be affecting current West County wastewater sewer mains. And in correspondence, we're able to determine a way to realign the sewer main so that we can have good access to it, so that we can maintain our sewer infrastructure. It helps promote environmental stewardship and will also give the organization peace of mind that they'll have legal rights to access and maintain the sewer main. So you'll see there in the dark crosshatched area, that'll be the area that we'll be recommending that the board later on will accept that grant of easement. That's going to be where the new sewer main will be installed. And so again, through the easement granting, we'll have legal access and maintenance rights to that land so that we'll be able to access that sewer main. So I believe it is going to be approximately 400 feet long and 10 feet wide. That's a standard easement. And so we want to make sure to have that in place. Now that light gray area that's going from northeast to southwest, that sewer main will no longer have flow. And due to that, it'll no longer be needed. That's why the vacating of that easement will be necessary. Now going from southeast to northwest, that infrastructure will remain in place, but that's going to go from a public sewer main to a private sewer main. So that sewer main won't be abandoned in the same way as that sewer main going from northeast to southwest, but it'll go from public to private. The reason it's going to go from public to private is because only the casino will be contributing flow to that sewer main. And so through coordination, the casino has agreed to it. They will be maintaining it quarterly in terms of hydrojetting it, and they'll also be conducting annual inspections of the sewer main and the sewer manholes that will be in their possession. And so when we go to the board on Wednesday, we'll be, again, recommending that we will be accepting a grant of easement, and we'll be recommending vacating easements that will no longer be necessary because West County Wastewater will have no ownership or maintenance responsibilities for those sewer mains. Those are some of the pertinent details that we wanted to show you there. Just kind of a quick recap of what I was talking about the efficient maintenance, allowing to protect for public health and safety, promoting environmental stewardship. And that talks about the realignment of the piping and manholes. At this time, hopefully I've answered any questions, comments, and concerns that you've had, but at this time, we can definitely go ahead and answer anything that you might want to ask us at this time.
Okay, thank you. President Rantila, questions?
Yeah, I was just curious, is there a number associated with this as far as cost savings?
Correct. So we don't actually have any cost-saving numbers, but what I can mention is that we will be saving time and resources by the collection systems operations crews not having to maintain the easements that will be vacating. The infrastructure that will no longer be under our possession because we'll be vacating those easements. They will then be able to focus all their attention in that area to that new sewer main alignment.
Thank you.
I have no questions. Next, this is going to the board, correct?
I'd like to make a motion that we move the item.
Okay. Nice second. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Thank you, Armando. Item number 4 on the agenda is to receive an update on the Polygone microplastics removal system project and recommend the project and related contracts to the full board for consideration and approval if the committee deems it appropriate. Madam Clerk, have we received any public comment on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to comment on item 4, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
We have the Director of Water Quality and Resource Recovery, Aaron Weiner, is going to give us a presentation on the Polygone microplastics removal project.
Thank you, Deputy GM Savannah. Board members or committee members, good morning. Just going to go through this quickly. This is the third time we've been back to you with this item, and you have the information, and hopefully third time's a charm. So we'll go to the next slide, if you would.
Post the bandy.
What's that? Oh, was that me? Sorry, yeah.
Let's see if it works. No. Oh, I thought he was going.
Oh, we're good. Yep,
Okay,
all
I'll
set,
do it.
thank you. So the agenda here, these are the items we're going to cover in the presentation. Should probably take 5 to 10 minutes, then we'll have questions. Here's a history of the project development, and as you can see, staff met Polygone in late 2023 at a conference. We've been in contact with them over the several intervening years. And as I mentioned earlier, we've presented to you in December of '24 and March of this year on the item. And then the big thing here is that Amazon has stepped in as a partner to the project and is funding $250,000 over the 10-year term, which is a huge piece for us. And really, the big thing there is that this has turned into a pilot. Turned from a pilot into a 10-year project. And there are some benefits there that you'll see. The objectives of the project to reduce microplastics, evaluate the new technology, and you'll see in a little bit later the new technology that we're proposing. We're going to analyze the potential for microplastics concentration in the external return flows from East Bay mud. So we have microplastics that are coming into the service area from homes and residents and things of that nature. But as you may recall, a substantial part of our effluent goes to East Bay mud and then Chevron for further treatment. And our thinking is that the microplastics that are removed through reverse osmosis are sent back to our service area into the sewer network and eventually concentrate coming back to the plant. And that's one of the elements of the study that we're going to look at, which I think will be fascinating. And then the last bullet there, this aligns with our strategic plan goal of being an environmental leader. And hopefully we'll have some other opportunities as we go through to work with East Bay Mud on this project and do some additional sampling, which may give us even better information than we've hoped for at this point. So I'm not going to read all that, but that's a schematic of what the original microplastics manual operated system looked like. That's the first proposal from the first proposal they gave us. And this is what it looks like now. Basically, it's fully automated. And you can see here just a representation of the installation. And one of the things that we looked at and was brought up during this process was, you know, we're going to have the microplastics, they're kind of like, mop heads, and they will actually sit down in the water column. And the concern was that, you know, that would restrict flow in that channel going out of the plant. But one of the things with this system is that there is basically automation that lifts it right out of the water, and we can do that and avoid that problem. So I think that was one of the key, you know, points and key findings that came out of this thing. It is fully automated. And this is another picture of where it's going to go. And in the left-hand picture, if you see the little awning on the left with the blue sides, it's going to be pretty much right in front of that. And this is the contact channel. This is the final pass where the effluent is leaving the treatment facility. And really here is the nuts and bolts. If you recall the previous presentations we did, had a contract value to West County Wastewater of about $112,000. And as best we could nail down the annual costs, it was anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 a year that we were looking at, but that wasn't concrete. But if you look here, this breaks down the $50,000 that West County Wastewater is throwing in. Imagine H2O is funding $75,000, as it notes. Amazon is $250,000. So really, we have $1 value to look at here. Everything else, including maintenance, is covered by the partners, and they will actually do the maintenance. That doesn't mean that if there's some light, maintenance, if we can do a little bit of troubleshooting with our staff, we won't do, it doesn't mean that we won't do that, because they're not going to be on site all the time. Their plan is to be here about every month to do, whatever they need to do, monitoring, doing the sampling and the planned maintenance. And this outreach framework, this is actually written into the project narrative that they provided to us. So there's been concern about, publicity and that type of thing, and how we manage the messaging out to the community and other stakeholders and partners. But this is part of their, this is provided by them. So this confirms that they're going to go through us and our communications program manager for, any outreach or anything that's messaged out beyond or from the West County Wastewater District. And lastly, next step, we're looking to receive direction from you on recommending this to the full board for approval. And I guess I would just close by saying one of the other messages that we've really, I don't like to use the word hammered on, but I guess that's a good metaphor, is that we have to control the timing of this project, the installation and that type of thing, because of everything that we've got going on at the treatment facility that you all know about, and in particular, the startup and commissioning of the major components of the Clean and Green project. So our thinking right now is that we're going to start this probably third quarter of 2026. At that point, we'll have the breathing room to take on something. And as noted before, most of the work is going to be done by Polygone and their partners, our partners, if it goes in that direction, obviously, depending on your thinking. So that's all I have, and we'll take any questions.
President Rentila, questions?
Yes. I'm not so sure about the practicality aspect of this because this is not drinking water, it's recycled water. I appreciate it working in concert with our Clean and Green project. But I was also wondering, what about a catastrophic failure, and if it damages our plant in some way? Who would be liable?
That will be addressed in the contract, in the indemnity, portion of our contract. And I don't know if you can really get a sense for how big that system is from the pictures that we've shown, but it's not a huge picture. It's not a huge piece of equipment. So, I think the likelihood is low, but again, we'll handle that in the contractual language.
Yeah, and what makes it favorable to me now is that Amazon has stepped in and, I mean, it may just be $25,000 a year, but that's $25,000 we don't have to pay.
Exactly. And I would say one other thing, though, about this is that one of the other pollutants of concern we've been talking about is PFAS, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's heard about PFAS. Source of PFAS is plastics, so it'll be interesting if we can look at that piece with this and see if there's any kind of correlation with PFAS related to this removal and this project, so.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is an experiment, and it'll be interesting to see what comes out of it. It may be a home run for all we know. If we don't try, we won't know. So,
And we have been able to box in our responsibilities, which I think was a key as well.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Well, thank you.
All right. Need a motion to send this to the full
I'd
board.
like to make a motion that we send this to the full board.
And I second.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right, does staff have any further reports?
We do. The next item on the agenda is item 5, reports on issues or matters pertaining to the work of the committee, which includes information on waste disposal during the holiday season. Madam Clerk, have we received public comment on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to comment on this item, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
So we have our Environmental Services Manager, Joe Neugebauer, here. He's going to give us a presentation on waste disposal in general, but really focusing on the holiday season.
Good morning.
How are you?
Chair Alvarado, Director Antila, Deputy GM Savannah. Thank you for your interest in the pollution prevention program, especially our residential users and the messaging that we give as far as what to put down the drain, what not to put down the drain. So next slide, we'll talk about our community outreach. Oh, that's on me. Okay, here we go. Okay, so a little bit about why that's important this time of year. Obviously, our service area is predominantly residential, so that's a big portion, a big percentage of the wastewater coming into our system is from residential sources, which are uncontrolled for the most part. You know, we can't go in and do inspections of people's homes to make sure they're not flushing the things they shouldn't flush. And of course, now during the holiday season, many people are home, they're cooking, they're entertaining, and we do have noticeable increases of grease, especially during not just these holidays, but all holidays during the year. We definitely see a difference, even at the treatment plant. So here's some pictures of what fats, oils, and grease can do in the pipes. You can see one of the biggest contributors to backups and overflows over the years for our district, and there's a pretty nasty manhole overflowing with grease. So as you all know, that's a big focus for our community outreach and our pollution prevention programs. So these are some of the things that we've done in the past. You each have a little grab bag here with all of these materials that we give out to the community. We have a compostable cup, actually, for people to put small amounts of oil and grease from when they're cooking. They can throw it in the garbage. They can put it in their compost bin, of course, as long as it's a small amount. Or they can take it to the Household Hazardous Waste Facility on Pittsburgh Avenue. They accept fats, oils, and grease from residential sources. And then we have some website sliders on our wcwd.org website that give these same messages, 90-day fog away, fog alert. And then as far as specific things that we give out at our events that we attend, table at, we have some flyers, we have some door hangers that deal with fog, and all of our materials, I'm pretty sure all of them, have a message of what number to call if they see a backup or an overflow, which is really important for us, obviously, to be able to respond quickly to those types of situations to prevent any environmental harm. So all of that's on there. We also distribute those door hangers, obviously, to problem areas. So our collection system crews, when they report to us that they've seen grease in a line, or if there's a backup or an overflow, we can put those door hangers on people's doors, more targeted type of outreach, you could say. And then our great communications manager, Kate Gibbs, does a fantastic job of putting out all these messages on our social media channels as well. There's an example just a few weeks ago of a post that was put on our page telling people about fats, oils, and grease. So moving on to wipes, that's the second, or you could say kind of tandem, it works in tandem with the fog as causing a lot of backups and overflows in our system. Here's some pictures of a overflow we had several years ago. You can see kind of for reference, it's a 5-gallon bucket there that was pulled out of one manhole. It's all wipes and paper towels that caused that overflow. So again, has a huge impact on that. It even has impact on our infrastructure. You can see there's a pump that's impacted with wipe material at our treatment plant. That's our primary clarifier. You can see it provides drag on equipment and reduces the lifespan, so it costs us money there as well. These were literally mountains of wipe materials that were pulled out of our digesters once they were decommissioned at the beginning of the Clean and Green project. So again, reduces the efficiency of our digesters and the capacity, so it causes problems all the way through the system. So we have some materials here, again, door hangers, what not to flush, focusing on wipes. The message that we've been giving out is only toilet paper should be flushed, along with obviously human waste, nothing else. And then we have a magnet there on the top left that we give out again at our outreach events, and when we meet with people, do presentations, has the number to call for overflows and also what not to put down the drain. It's nice, handy, you can put it right on their refrigerator. And then the wipes clog pipes again on our website as a slider there. And then we have our, a few years ago, we did the video series of What Not to Flush, kind of a parody of the What Not to Wear reality show. It's kind of goofy, but it's fun, it's memorable. So that's still available on our YouTube channel. Again, posts on other Facebook and social media channels, some nice flyers that we give out at outreach events. And then aside from wipes and fog, there are other things, obviously, that are not safe to flush. Pharmaceuticals, pesticides are pollutants of concern for the Bay specifically, and for us, of course. So our messaging about that is to take those items to the household hazardous waste facility right across the parkway from the treatment plant. And so that's it. And the presentation really was for you, not just information about what we're doing, but also to be able to take those messages back to the community, your families and friends. So if you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to take those.
President Mantilla?
Well, I do know that we had a neighbor that flushed down some old soup. He had a big pot of old soup with beef heart. And apparently it clogged up his bathroom, so he just thought rather than putting it in the garbage can, he'd flush it. But didn't work out too well.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things that shouldn't be flushed. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Very eye-opening presentation. I, for one, have become very cognizant of when not to flush since I became a board member. So it's very informative information. Will this be going to the full board, this report as well?
Not to my knowledge at this point, but obviously, we could get that on the schedule.
Probably be a
if
good
it's-
thing just to have it on record. So, people are watching our meetings or, it's available. That's my thoughts anyway.
I did have another question.
Sure, go right ahead.
I was curious, are we talking to city managers? Because typically the city managers have reports that they put out weekly sometimes. And I think I sent you one from the city of Richmond that spoke to that.
Yeah, I know that the city of San Pablo does the same thing. So it'd be nice to get the information out there. Although people know, they don't know, if you know what I mean.
Yep, yeah, definitely.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We had not intended to take this to the full board, but we can talk about the agenda and see if we can fit something on, maybe do a brief presentation at an upcoming board meeting.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so if I respectfully, I would just request if we could do maybe a comprehensive report next right, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
January, February.
Doesn't have to be next board meeting, could
Yeah.
be the one after,
Okay.
January, February, that's fine.
All right,
Just
okay,
like, it should get out in there so people can just see the presentation.
absolutely. Sounds good.
Like I said, it's eye-opening. Thank you.
And thank you, Joe. Next, we have a couple of holiday events. I'd like to ask Deputy General Manager Justin Lovell to come up and just let you guys know about some of those.
Okay.
Good morning again. Justin Lovell, Deputy General Manager. There's just a few things that we're working on as the holidays as staff that we're participating. And there's several other organizations that have different drives or things like that for the holidays. And so we're, as staff, we are participating in what we're calling blessing bags, which are donating items to local homeless nonprofit that will be providing that to those who are unhoused within our area, so that we're taking those donations over the next several weeks through the first week of January. We're also participating in a toy and food drive. I believe it's the New Hope, is that the name of the organization? I try to remember. I don't know if Robin was in there, but so we're coordinating that, and that's happening this week. Actually, there'll be the organization will be picking up any toys and food, I believe tomorrow or the next day. So that's a very quick turnaround for that food drive. And then just also to let you know that our director Annie King Meredith is participating in an event at the Stige Elementary School next week, and she will be Mrs. Claus, and they're doing an event for the school there as well. So she's very well represented in the community, and I believe she's been doing that for several years now. So it's a great event for that elementary school. So with that, I'd like to have oh, yes, I forgot, for the board, yes, here, everyone, all our board members are invited next Wednesday, December 17th. We are having the holiday walkabout at our treatment plant, so from 2 to 4 p.m. So please come by for all our staff and our board members to have some treats and get a little walk around of our treatment plant, see the progress of the Clean and Green project. So with that, happy to answer any questions.
I have none, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Neither do I. Thank you for the update.
Thank you, Justin. Anything else, Andrew? That's it for staff.
That's it for staff.
You have anything, Robin?
Actually, okay, so the next Infrastructure Operations and Environment Committee meeting is scheduled for January 13, 2026. However, I'll need to talk to the chair about that particular week, because that's the week of CASA.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good.
I'll be in touch.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
you,
And
Robin.
I do have that holiday walkabout plant celebration in my calendar, so I was planning to attend. All right, so I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 10:45 a.m. Thank you for attending.
Thank you. Thanks, Robin.